Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe, if you dare.
I know a guy that wiped his ass with a nice white face towel in my friend's washroom because he was too lazy to look for toilet paper in the drawers beneath the sink. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. What is the best/worst party foul moment you have ever witnessed?
Number 1.
Partying at an old fraternity house in college, and in the basement there was a lone PVC water pipe that stretched from floor to ceiling. This room also happened to be the location of the heaviest beer pong table known to man. Late in the night, after copious amounts of alcohol had been consumed, some wise guy decided that the beer pong table needed to be relocated. He proceeds to push the adamantium table up against the wall with some force, effectively shattering the PVC pipe. This is the middle of winter, so ice cold water starts spraying in a 6-foot radius out of the pipe, dousing nearly everyone in the room. Girls are crying about their hair and clothes, and the guys are yelling at each other about finding the shut-off valve, which took about 5 drunk minutes to locate. Meanwhile, I am standing bone dry on the other side of the room, drinking a natural light, don't judge, it was college, and watching an impromptu wet t-shirt contest. It was a good night.
Number 2.
Commenter. A friend of mine threw a party at his house a few years back. The house was split up into apartments, the first floor being one apartment and the second floor being another. Both floors had a deck out back, one right above the other. I'm out in the backyard smoking a cigarette and talking to someone. I look over to see a few people drinking immediately behind the first floor deck. I happen to look up at the second floor deck to see someone walk out. He then proceeds to whip his dick out and piss off the back of the deck onto the group of people below. Person B. I was at a party a few years ago and witnessed something similar. A friend of mine was pissing off the back deck of a cabin into the woods when a girl was stumbling back from said woods. I was standing about 100 feet away and saw a glorious arc of piss strike this girl on the face and shoulders. She just walked right back to the bonfire like nothing happened. She may have assumed it was rain because she was really hammered. I told her what happened shortly after so she could clean off the piss smell.
Number 3.
Was at a party once with a friend who had to shit. However, the girl that lived there was occupying the sole bathroom and refused to hurry up. My friend proceeded to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator and shat in the vegetable crisper.
Number 4.
I know a guy that wiped his ass with a nice white face towel in my friend's washroom because he was too lazy to look for toilet paper in the drawers beneath the sink. Also been to several parties where people got mashed and just tore the effing house up, stealing and breaking shit for the hell of it. That to me is the ultimate party foul. If someone is kind and gracious enough to offer you a roof to get drunk under, snacks, seating and company, you better damn well leave the place in relatively good condition.
Number 5.
I was at a party in an apartment complex. I stepped out to the backyard for a smoke when I had a powerful urge to piss. I was already hammered at this point and didn't give a F, had only one shoe on, for instance, and I found a nice remote corner in which to relieve myself. Now I'm done. I suddenly hear the door to the backyard smash open and hear, "What the F are you doing?" I zip up and turn around to find the super. Now, this super was already a legend for being an asshole. But that night, he was getting ready to hit the town, and being the middle-aged Romanian he is, he had a 70s tuxedo-style shirt on with the buttons down to his chest. He had his hair slicked back and was sporting a huge gold chain, Miami Vice style. I freeze. Think, Frying Dutchman, think. I just stammer. No English. What did you say? No English. Me no English. I'm Asian. I'm saying this in my most broken Chinese accent imitation, helped on by untold shots of Jameson. Where are you from? China, says I. No UF. What apartment? Now my English breaks down utterly and I am still gesturing and pointing and saying shit like, my friend. His friend. His place. Up there. After 5 minutes of this he glares at me and kicks my ass out of the apartment complex. Which is fine, except I'm wearing one shoe, don't have my keys, wallet, or phone. I see the super lock the front door and the backyard door. I have no way to contact my friends at this point. So I walk across to the neighborhood bar. The bartender kinda recognizes me. I explain my situation and he just shakes his head and gives me a pint of beer. He lets me use the phone to call my friends, but they're already too hammered to pick up. So I end the night standing across the street from the apartment building, hiding in the shadows of a tree so that the super doesn't spot me, and waiting for anyone, to enter the building so I can sneak in behind him. Later on, my friend tells me the super went around asking everyone if they knew the pissing Chinaman. TL, doctor, alcohol turned me into a one-shot illegal immigrant.
Number 6.
In grad school, a few friends moved into a house together in their second year. The house was a death trap waiting to happen, but that is another story. They threw a party a few weeks after getting their keys, and for some unknown reason a group of 10 to 12 freshmen had caught wind of the party and just showed up to get drunk. I arrived late to the party with some friends and immediately noticed two things. A. It is a complete sausage fest, all of the freshmen that arrived are male. B. A faint but very distinct smell of poop invades my nostrils as soon as I open the door. Not dog shit or cat shit, human shit. I guess that is the curse of having a very sensitive nose. I seek out one of the hosts, Will, and he gathers his roommates to make sure no one has clogged a toilet or upper decked them. All of the bathrooms are clear, yet the smell remains and it is growing stronger. My friend Alice, one of the very few women, figures out that the smell is coming from one of the freshmen in the living room that is drunk and dancing with a huge load of shit sloshing around in his pants. Not just a little poo, a huge saggy bulge that is clearly visible through the kid's khaki slacks. The smell in that room was overwhelming, but somehow none of the freshmen seemed to notice or care. We all just stared at him slack-jawed for a minute before Alice just walks up to him and tells him he may have had an accident. He flips out and bolts out the door, leaving little splotches of poop every time his foot hit the floor. The poop had run down his pants leg and was just beginning to drip off the cuff when we caught it. I left, they cleaned up and kicked out all the rest of the freshmen.
Number 7.
I was at a party in high school at one of my loaded friends' houses. She had a hot tub which a few of us noticed was being seriously underutilized. My friend's widely despised redneck girlfriend got in first, and after I got a fresh beer, I stripped down to my boxers and made my way across the enormous back deck to the flush set hot tub. As I stepped in, my foot slipped on the smooth fiberglass seat and my foot shot out to my side, right between the redneck girl's legs. I actually felt my big toe penetrate her vag as I fell into the water. I managed to keep my beer level and above water. As soon as I got my head back above water, she screamed, "Ma cooter." I didn't stop laughing for a very long time and still yell sometimes when I see that friend. I think I redeemed my drunken clumsiness by A. saving my fresh beer and B. eliciting such a ridiculous reaction. TL, doctor, I slipped into a hot tub, fell in said hot tub, kicked my friend's GF in the vag, who screamed "Ma cooter." Managed to hold on to my full beer.
Number 8.
One spring break evening, me and my friends decided to stay in and party in our house that we were renting for the week. After reaching max level of inebriation, the party began to die down. There are 6 of us left now, 3 guys, 3 girls, and one of the girls decided to pass out on the couch. I went over to try to wake the girl up, but instead was welcomed by a stench that the god of shit would be proud of. Come to find out, the girl had shit herself and had been sitting in it for about an hour or 2. Because we thought that no one should have to wake up to shit all up in their derriere, the girls decided to clean her up. Turns out it had spread and she was also sporting a brown waffle. The girls cleaned her up, got her underwear and pants and set her back on the couch. She woke up the next morning feeling refreshed, and we continued to party the rest of the week. We vowed never to say a word, and I still talk to her to this day. TLDR, friend shit herself, passed out at a party. We cleaned her up, set her on the couch, and she was none the wiser.
Number 9.
I watched a girl pass out on a couch at a party. Then about 30 minutes later she woke up and walked to the middle of the room, where there happened to be a pizza box. She then proceeded to pull her pants down and shit in said pizza box. It was the most hilarious yet disgusting moment of my life.
Number 10.
I attended a small, liberal arts college in NH. On Halloween our school held a dance attended by a fair number of scantily clad ladies. One in particular was a sweet mate of mine. She wore a sexy cop outfit, not terribly inspired, but it accented her derriere quite nicely. A group of us were at the dance and decided to go back to the suite to pound a few drinks, then return. We were sitting in the common room when this incredibly drunk girl started to shit herself. A copious amount of liquid diarrhea exploded from her skirt and trailed on the floor as she ran to the bathroom. She showered off, and against her better judgment and that of her friends, she begrudgingly put the same shit-riddled clothes back on and returned to the dance. She dropped out of school the next day, never to be heard from again.
Number 11.
We were at the 21st birthday of this girl we knew. Things got a little out of hand and hot dogs started getting thrown. One hit me in the head, so I picked it up and proceeded to carry it to the kitchen. I opened up their refrigerator and found a 3/4 full gallon of milk. I opened it up and dropped the raw hot dog into the milk jug. I laughed so hard when I saw it drop from my hand into the opaque container. She called me a week later pissed as hell. She found it because it was submerged into her cereal bowl. She had been using that milk for a week before that horrible day.
Number 12.
About a year ago, a close friend of mine who cannot handle her booze at all suddenly met the vomit monster. She ran to the toilet to throw up, but there was a girl sitting on it. Instead of using the sink or bath, my friend stuck her head right between these girls' legs and threw up in the toilet while she was sitting on it, flailing in horror. My friend claims not to remember a thing, and the poor toilet user subsequently became known as the bucket.
Number 13.
I was at a New Year's Eve party at a family friend's house a few years ago. My fiance's friend came and brought a date, we'll call him Scott, because that was his name, who she had only just started going out with. Scott was a decent guy and I was having a good time talking to him and introducing him to people at the party. I left him for maybe a half hour, and in that time he had finished off 3/4 of a bottle of Johnny Walker. I know the outcome wouldn't be good, so I distanced myself from him for a while. Well, word starts going around that there is a guy outside throwing up a lot. Turns out it was Scott. My fiancée and I told her friend that her date needed to be taken care of, and apparently he got overly embarrassed and apologetic and told her he was just going to drive himself home. She tried to stop him, but he pushed past her and got in his car. And then nothing happened for about an hour. Turns out, the dude passed out in his car before he could even get the keys in the ignition but locked the doors. So my buddy and I start knocking on the windows trying to wake the kid up, but to no avail. We start gathering some tools to break into his car when all of a sudden the engine starts and the dude peels off, swerving up the street, blows through a stop sign and drives away. We only saw him once after that. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.